To my new subscribers. Excuse me. I really appreciate you for the chance and opportunity. We right back. Mexico is still on fire. We still gonna stay on Mexico, but it's so much going on. Hold on 1 second. I gotta get something. Hold on. I need to get some. All right, here I come. All right, here I come. Ugh. All right, well, I see ain't nobody in the room yet. Again, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. And Mexico's still on fire. U.S. tourists in Mexico beach town after drug lords killing sparks wave of violence. We already know they killed El Macho yesterday with the help of the U.S. government. Hey, Peter, how are you? Hey, love. He was head of the Jalisa New Generation Cartel. He had a bond. The government had put a $15 million bounty on his head. What you mean, what happened to me? Ain't shit happened to me. What do you mean? So it's still widespread unrest. Mexico still on fire. There have been suspected gang members. They have torched buses and businesses while clashing with the military and police. Hey, Jamie. With security force, President Claudia Sheinbaum said peace, security, and normalcy are being maintained across Mexico. That's a damn lie, Sheinbaum. That's a damn lie. Tourists, the U.S. Department urged American nationals today to continue sheltering in place as other parts of the country return to normal. They have kidnapped some Americans, so it's still a mess over there. The department's 24/7 crisis hotline for U.S. citizens fielded hundreds of calls after several U.S. carriers suspended flights to Puerto Vallarta. Here's what to do if you're stranded. So one of the stranded tourists said that restaurants were starting to reopen. People are walking. Some streets are quieter than others. Hey, Art, how you doing? How you doing, Art? He said he walked around for about 30 minutes Monday evening to find something to eat. Estimate that about 40% of the bars and restaurants are reopened. He is scheduled to fly out tomorrow and is hoping for the best. The U.S. Embassy in Mexico is still urging U.S. citizens in Jalisco state cities of Guadalajara, Puerto Vallarta, and Cedar Guzman to shelter in place. The advice also extends to those stuck in Tijuana, Baja, California, and other states of Chiapas and, oh shit, I can't even say that damn name. American says he was attacked by cartel members in Mexico. American expat Yoni Pizer recounted a terrifying ordeal with cartel members in the Mexico Beach city of Puerto Vallarta when the car he was driving was hijacked by gunmen, torched, and used to barricade a road during Sunday's violence. He's American who resides in the town and said he was on his way to go whale watching with his husband and two friends when they came across a white truck stopped at the intersection. A young man came running with a gun pointed at our windshield to us, screaming in Spanish, "Get out of the car, get out of the car." Thinking it was a carjacking, they quickly jumped out of the vehicle. The gunman got into the driver's seat and with a gun in one hand maneuvered the car into the intersection. As they got out the car, they heard explosions from the car and gunfire. Then they just started grabbing people as more traffic started coming toward the intersection. Some people were able to squeal and make U-turns and head away. Others were caught and were dragged out of their cars. And their cars were moved also to block the road. He watched as the gunmen, thank you for hitting that like button. He watched the gunmen command a city bus to block the road and torched it. In the chaos, he got separated from his husband, only made it to safety thanks to strangers who picked him up and drove him downtown. As we turned around, there was columns of black smoke, not just from the street we were on, but to the left, to the right, and all behind us. He eventually was reunited with his husband, who had sheltered in the children's orphanage for 8 hours. We've been in Puerto Vallarta for over 5 years. Nothing like this has ever happened. It's still crazy over there. Mexico violence does so they got the military there. Some of the cartel are even impersonating the military. Well, like I said, the man had 15 million on his head, and now they saying cartel leaders' romantic partner helped lead to his capture. Man, when they put that money on your head, just like Maduro had 50 million on your head, shit, hey, somebody gonna tell. Somebody is gonna tell on your ass for that kind of money. Authority used the location of a woman who was with Nimsko Corvettes, the drug kingman known as El Macho, to find him. It's always a woman, y'all, ain't it? It's always a woman who set him up. So at a press conference, President Sheinbaum assured the public that the nation is under control after Mexican authorities conducted an operation Sunday night. That shit ain't under control. Wow, so it was a woman that set him up. All right, let's get into... What is this? Alfie, that's a dumbass question. And we sitting up here talking about Mexico. Ain't shit horny or sexy about people being unalived. This is the Hot Zone with Dan. I love him.
All right, everybody, we are live. How's it going, Chuck Holt?
Chuck
Now,
Holt.
because he's the star of the show here. Oscar, how's it going?
This is my boy. I love Oscar Ramirez. Y'all got to check him out. I found him during the invasion of them illegals.
Yeah, so, and there's violence there as well. Matter of fact, I have some video that you sent of what you saw. And so I'm going to put that up while we're talking.
This is Mexico.
Explain what we're seeing here.
Well, that escalated, Chuck. As soon as the execution of this mission, that it was led by the federal government with the intelligence of the American government, the execution of El Mencho in the part of Talapa. After that, there was a wave of violence, started with Puerto Vallarta, resort areas, tourist areas. Then it's escalated to the places that you know that they have a lot of control, Guerrero, Michoacan. And then after that, it started escalating to the parts that they have control next to the border. Look at this picture. This automobile was just burned just steps away from the border wall, which tells you how much power they have. And it was surprising
for me in Tijuana.
Yeah, it was surprising for me in Tijuana because we thought that the Sinaloa cartel was the one that was running the show over here in Tijuana, but it was on the contrast was immediate. You know, that they started showing immediate force. They started burning vehicles in Tijuana in the middle of roads, doing these narco blockades that they were doing specifically and exactly as a copy paste in Michoacan and Guerrero and Puerto Vallarta, showing the power and showing no remorse to the citizens, terrorizing the citizens' security. But more than that, Chuck, when they do this, it is to send a message to the government that we still have power over these communities and that we're not going to show no remorse to go against you. So we still have presence over here. So they started doing that in Tijuana and several communities. Until now, they have more than 22 incidents. They're categorizing them as incidents because they're not only burning vehicles, but they're burning Oxos. That these are kind of like a 7-Eleven convenience stores also. So they're burning also pharmacies. They're burning all kinds of businesses and automobiles. So you have more than 20 of those that they already have recently happening. On a positive note, they already arrested more than 20 of these individuals that they have committed these crimes over. The government of Baja already released a statement. And just now, there was breaking news. The head of Sedena, that is the Secretary of Defense, just gave out a statement saying that, he was crying on the morning conference of the president because of all the lives that they were lost. Military lives that they were lost on this execution of El Mencho.
Wow.
But also he said one of the most important things to highlight, this is the head of the military. He said this is a cooperation with the United States. This magnifies in Mexico the level of extraction of information, of intelligence that the United States has, a capability of technology, is like no other in the world. And they do not even have the obligation to go in there. They can just tell Mexico, this is what is happening, this is what's going on, do it. And that's about it. And the way that they handled this operation, Chuck, it was that they knew the book, The Art of War. You need to study your enemy, their weaknesses.
Man, I live that book. I keep The Art of War next to my Bible. Keep your enemy close. Don't never let your enemy ain't supposed to know that you their enemy. I follow that shit. Alfie, you ignorant. You ignorant, and the answer is yes. Dummy.
It's good when he's eating and all this kind of stuff. They study El Mencho. What were his weaknesses? And the weaknesses of El Mencho was that he had several women. He visited one of them.
It's always a woman set of $15 million shit. I'll set your ass up too.
Consistently. In this one, apparently, they started tap wiring the driver. And then they got in contact with the driver of the women. And that is the way that they got into his location and immediately executed this. It's just amazing the way that the American intelligence works and the way that this all developed. But now it created this wave of violence in several cities, Chuck. And the federal government now needs to control this. Now, the collateral effect has been the citizens, they're extremely concerned. Tourists in Tijuana, we got hundreds of thousands that they cross back and forth. They are extremely concerned also. Tourist areas in Puerto Vallarta, Cancun, they're also extremely concerned for their security. So the federal government already released a statement that deploying more authorities to these particular cities and communities so they will feel safe. But schools are closed today. Elementary, junior high school, all levels, colleges are closed. Businesses, yesterday was like a ghost town. Never seen it like this, Chuck. Around 6 o'clock in the evening, Costco was closed, Walmart was closed, all businesses were closed, and they're scared because of the level of repercussions. And then there was a really concerning post on social media. You know, these little posts on social media from these cartel pages, they posted that after 10 o'clock, if people will still be walking outside, they will start shooting at civilians. That was extremely concerning. So, you know, for people, they started safeguarding, calling it like a curfew, went back home, and that's, you know, the situation right
Mexico
now.
still
Cities,
erupting,
exactly
still erupting.
but where they burn more automobiles, Puerto Vallarta, parts of Jalisco, and then third place, Tijuana, that we have more than 22 incidents, Chuck, until now.
It's amazing.
Thank you for hitting that like button.
Take a look at this video. Let's take this one down. And let's take a video. You were talking about going after civilians. Now, there's a video that came out of them going after one of these OXXO gas stations, and they actually threatened the civilians and told them to leave, and then they left, and then they set the gas station on fire. So I'm going to turn the audio off on that because this is just surveillance video. Do you see? I mean, this is pretty terrifying. There's the employees, and they look like they're about to kill the person in that car.
Yeah.
And then they told them, get out. No, don't get out. No, stay there. Go, get out of here. Leave. And then they just start hosing down the place with the fuel. And then they start the whole thing on fire. I mean,
Damn.
This is happening all across Mexico right now. We're seeing more and more videos like that coming out. As a matter of fact, I got another one here from...
One thing that I want to say real quick about that video. If you see those people that they're lighting up that gas station, they're young. Mm-hmm. These are the kind of people that Chuck has mentioned so many times, incels, he calls them. And these young kids, they are just in their basement, not doing anything, and they're recruited by the cartel, and then they do this.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, here's another one where they take over a fuel tanker on the side of the highway, and then they give the guy his keys back and tell him he can go, but then they come and jump in their vehicle and start shooting at him as he's leaving. I think they actually wanted the fuel tanker to blow up on the road, but it didn't, thank God. But so this is kind of, I mean, this is failed state kind of stuff, Oscar.
You can't make this up. You cannot make this up.
Why do you still live in Mexico? I mean, why have you not moved and become my neighbor in Panama yet?
We're highly thinking about that. You know, we had these multiple conversations, and we're thinking about this year possibly having an enormous possibility to go over there.
Well, you know, just because you're a war correspondent doesn't mean you have to live in the war. Okay, you can live somewhere else. It's okay. We'll let you do that.
You know, this, to explain a little bit to the audience, this is not the first time that this has happened in Tijuana. It has happened before, and also in Mexico. Last time it was, it was kind of like this. It was a little bit more concerning what the cartel was doing. The Sinaloa cartel at that particular time was stopping people on the highways. They were kidnapping them, hurting them, and then they were burning the vehicles. So this is the
damn. I would hate to be kidnapped by the cartel.
Yesterday, they were extremely concerned. They're like, okay, now we're not going to go outside and drive because possibly they're going to stop us. They're going to hurt us. They're going to get us killed, get a shot. You know, it was really concerning for a lot of the population, and they were a little bit scared.
So what is the president Sheinbaum doing about this? Now, I've seen some reports where she was saying like, oh, it's a human rights abuse to go after these cartel members. And, but, you know, now she's kind of crossed the Rubicon where she has gone after the cartel members. What's she saying, and what does this mean for the current government?
Well, she is actually what she just said. It was a mission that it was executed by the federal government with collaboration with the United States intelligence. This basically, to the whole population of Mexico, to the media of Mexico, it says to everybody who's calling the shots of taking care of these kind of situations. If it wasn't for the Trump administration and this administration that is currently in the United States of America, You will not have thousands of laboratories that they have been dismantled. You will not have more than 12 companies that were working illicitly, providing precursors to the Chapo's cartels. You will not have also, the more than 20,000 agitators that they have been arrested. You will not have more than 60 plus leaders of cartels that they have been delivered to the United States, more than 50 plus politicians exposed. And now you will not have this, that they just executed a mission for them to kill one of the most wanted terrorists in Mexico. So the statements from her is always going to say, we're the ones that we took care of it. We're the ones that we're doing this because we protect the sovereignty. The populist is speech for their political party to say, oh, we're not going to let the gringos come in here and invade our country and take over our country, but we're collaborating with them. They're
right, that part.
Because it's their obligation also. That's the populist speech that they're using. But on the other hand, the people that we have common sense, and that we have
that's right, Sir Daniel. That's right, Sir Daniel. We on the same page.
These missions, and that is actually telling the Mexican government, this is where he's located, take care of him, eliminate this criminal cell, and extract this criminal narco.
And this is Oscar Ramirez. I love him. Y'all got to check out his channel.
To find the bad guys, fix their location, and then finish them. And there's 6 steps to that kill chain. The United States did 1 through 4 in this case. Number 5, which is actually pulling the trigger, Mexico did. And then 6, which is exploit all of the information we can get out of there, it is being done by both the United States and Mexico. So you're right. I mean, the United States had a very serious hand in 5 of the 6 steps of the kill chain in this case. So this leaves a big power vacuum. We just took out the largest narco trafficker in Mexico. And obviously his guys are, we really kicked a hornet's nest there. They're burning down the country. I have a graphic of all the different locations of the different cartels in Mexico. And so I don't know how accurate this is. You can tell me, but Puerto Vallarta is down here. Well, let's pull up a real map and look at that real quick. Puerto Vallarta.
Right there in Jalisco, next to...
it's right down here.
Up in where it says Jalisco.
Are you serious?
There's Jalisco.
Wait, Roberto, are you serious? Are you serious? So you saying that he's still alive and he done got away? El Micho? How you say the man's name? Wow. So you saying that he is still alive? So, but what about the woman that they saying set him up? Robert? What about the woman they said set him up? I believe you too, Rob. I really do. But they sure ain't said nothing about this. Because you know what? Scheinbaum is not going to say that they missed. They going to let this man... Yeah, they not going to say they got the wrong guy. They not going to admit that. Damn, Robert, I'm going to have to check that out. Wow. And I'm going to go a little bit past this little map because I want to get here. I love Oscar.
Border Patrol, that they have a long reach. These guys made sure that they burn these vehicles in front of the camera so they will see the U.S. government to see them. I'm burning this.
Oh, they got to him very easy. So, but you saying that they didn't get him, but they said that they put a tracker on the a woman, one of his girlfriends who helped set him up. $15 million. A lot of people's head on, he had a bounty on his head, $15 million from the United States government. But you saying he's still alive. Wow. Wow, but with that kind of money. But I was surprised that he was bigger than the Sinaloa. I know I'm saying that wrong, cartel. Because I thought the Sinaloa cartel was the biggest.
Vehicle in front of you so you can look at me. So they have the audacity to do that. So this is why it is a national security issue. Why? Because they have drones. They can attack Border Patrol agents. They can attack National Guard. soldiers that they are on the other side patrolling also the border. It has to be taken care of really seriously right now because this is not going to stop.
Well, if the president is saying the United States was involved in this, and the U.S. Side is saying the same thing, does that mean there's a risk to the U.S. that the CJNG or these cartels will extend their violence into the United States?
Well, we
know they exist in there. We know they've got a presence, right?
Yeah, we've seen that, Chuck. And when we were documenting the migration, how they were having a lot of presence inside of the territory of the United States. Mm-hmm. And for people to understand, the drugs don't distribute themselves alone with robots inside of the U.S. So they have a lot of presence in parts like Denver, parts like Chicago, New York, and the East Coast. A lot of parts. They have also a lot of presence in Florida. So, the level of...
Damn, so the cartel he's saying is in New York, Denver, Florida. Wow, I know they in California. We know that. Wow, can y'all hit that like button, please? Appreciate it.
That possibly can happen, we do not know. Hopefully they're... right now, they're critically hurt.
Right,
this
Frank.
guy was
I agree,
extremely
Frank.
important for them. How the level of violence and the atrocious acts, the decapitations, the dismember, he was the guy that always gave the order to say, destroy the whole body, do this. This is the way that we need to send a message. And now they're critically hurt. And it is an off-balance situation of who's going to take charge. Every time that something like this happens, inner war starts happening because they start fighting for territory and who's gonna be the
right, and who gonna be the next one, the next head. Right, they fighting for who gonna take his position. It's always somebody ready to take your position once you out.
That is gonna take charge, and that is gonna be the next step. That the federal government needs to control that also.
Yeah, I think so. The U.S. is going to have to be on high alert for this as well.
Yeah.
But of course, the work that the president has done to close the border is going to make that a lot easier.
Thank you for hitting that like button.
It would have been if it was a Biden administration and the border was still wide open. So I want to get to the video of the interview I did with the friend of mine that's in Puerto Vallarta right now and what he's seeing. So let's take a listen to that. So my friend Lanny Million is actually in Puerto Vallarta right now. And Lanny, you've been on some tours with us. I know you're very well traveled. What's going on the ground where you are?
Well, a lot of smoke, a lot of roads being torn up where they were trying to block, local traffic and that kind of thing for the folks that were part of that cartel. They were trying to disrupt, traffic as much as possible, and like
thank y'all for hitting that like button.
Some road, equipment, broken up roads. They were in at the airport yesterday, I know, causing some trouble. And I don't know, Chuck, exactly, how much control the Army's gotten over that now, but we have seen several Mexican Army helicopters, up and down the beach and over our resort, and quite a bit yesterday. So I know they're working at it. They say they're, starting to get some control over it, but there's no travel really. They're encouraging everyone to stay on the resort and almost keeping you here almost. And also, of course, all the workers are having trouble getting in, so that's impacting some of the operations, at the resorts and all over town. Restaurants were shut down and that kind of thing. So it's a pretty serious deal.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And obviously you wouldn't have gone down there if you were expecting something like this to happen. What was your first clue something was wrong? Were you hearing gunfire or explosions or anything like that?
Yeah, well, we heard a lot of sirens. I guess that was on Saturday, sometime Saturday. Started seeing a lot of activity, and then yesterday morning, when we left the room yesterday morning to come down to the pool at this resort we're at, lots of sirens, smoke, and all that kind of stuff going on. Fires have been set all around town.
What you mean he has one more before he's impeached? Trump ain't being impeached unless they get a Democrat control in the midterms. So what do you mean? Well, if you work for the FBI, you sure ain't gonna say it on here. And if he done, then the United States is done as well. Because Trump is fighting the Illuminati. That's who he's fighting. And that's another topic for another day. Down there, he trying to stop drugs from coming in here. What do you mean? Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Marty. Thank you. He is fighting the Illuminati. If y'all look, this whole thing is spiritual. Y'all be looking at the physical. This whole thing with Trump is between good and evil. And that's a fact. Thank you, Marty. I love you.
And so, that was the first clue. We actually spent 4 nights at a different resort up in north of Puerto Vallarta in Nuevo Nayarit, and we were up at a resort there for 4 nights, and then Saturday.
He is not a pedophile. He turned in Epstein. He the one that called and started the whole investigation back in Mar-a-Lago back in 2005, 2006. This is not a war. This is Mexican on Mexican. Right now, Trump is fighting the war, bringing fentanyl and all that into the United States. That's what this is about, but it's much deeper than that. This is a battle between good and evil. Trump is fighting the Illuminati. Facts. Listen, and he done put a boomerang in Agenda 2030 when he stopped them BlackRock and them from buying up all them houses, because the slogan for Agenda 2030, you will own nothing and be happy. He done put a boomerang on that. Greenland is very strategic. Yes, he done he starved Cuba because Cuba is starving. They been had sanctions because they ain't got no oil, but Russia just got some oil over there to Cuba. And that's not a damn war. Shit, that's an embargo. Right, Marty. They don't see the truth. Well, Frank, that's your opinion. If you say I need help, I think you need help. If you can't see, because you looking through your carnal eyes instead of your spiritual eyes. Everything he did, he'd have put a whole boomerang in the New World Order. And I wasn't going to do Trump versus Illuminati because I got a video on there, but it's going to be a part 2. Because that's what this is about. Well, I'm glad you know Trump personally. Well, I love the man. Okay? Not that part. Because I know it's spiritual.
We transferred to this resort right down in the middle of Puerto Vallarta.
Wow, so you need all the smoke and everything?
Yeah, Sharon got some good pictures and video of some of the smoke yesterday evening where we're still burning. And we've seen plenty of that.
That's right. Put on your full armor to stand against the wiles of this enemy, because he running rampant and he taking whoever he can take with him. And he doing, look, the enemy is doing his job.
Now, right now, does it seem quiet?
Well, very quiet at the resort. Again, we haven't been off the resort since Saturday. So, but we can just tell security is ramped up, at the resort.
And you know what, since we own this.
And apparently,
And you going to call a man that. Do you know one of ICE's mandates is to find the 325,000 missing children that Joe Biden lost? And they have found 121,000 exploited, trafficked kids. The last one Tom Holman talked about the other day was a 14-year-old girl that they found with 2 illegal migrants who was pregnant, 14, and being sex trafficked. So fuck what you talking about, Frank. It sure is, Randy, and I'm gonna take care of it. It is, but now I done got pissed the fuck off because they finding all them missing traffic exploited kids for child labor, sex trafficking, boys and girls. So Frank, kiss my ass. Thank you. Give me some likes. Thank you.
Down the strip. And so, yeah, it's definitely heightened tension that you set on the staff and security personnel.
Frank, I'm not lying. Do your research because I'm not a liar, number one, and you don't know me.
Minds are upset.
It is going off because I'm pissed the fuck off.
Probably even more concerned, and of course, people that were scheduled to go home.
Bitch, you done, Frank. You ain't got to be here, ho.
We're scheduled to fly back.
Bye, Frank.
At the moment, and so hopefully, be straightened out and more control, by then. But yeah, people are very anxious.
Right, Marty. Right. Exactly. Right. Comic.
So they haven't had a disruption in the food.
You're right. Comic Pizza all up and down Washington, D.C. The Podesta brothers, Hillary Clinton, her emails, Julian Assange exposing all her 33,000 emails that the bitch deleted. Shit, you right about that. I love you. That's true, Safadi. That is true. Well, I don't care, Frank. I can be however I want to be. And I can say whatever I want to say. But I'm saying if we don't agree and you got a problem, don't call me a dum-dum. I didn't call you out your name till you called me a dum-dum. And that's where we're going to have a problem. And like I said, you ain't got to be here. You know what, Marty? Yeah, and I do have it, and I'm going to do Pizzagate, but I wasn't going to do it right now. Right now, we dealing with Mexico. Y'all done got me all off. Let me go past
start
it.
arresting this. And, this will greatly work in Mexico. If you go state by state, if you go to the states that they are highly controlled by cartels, if it doesn't have to be in the whole territory. It will be stupid to compare the country of territory-wise of Mexico in comparison to El Salvador. But the whole thing is the premise that it can actually be done.
Frank, bitch, I got some edges, bitch. And if you see, it's just thinning, bitch. So fuck you, Frank. Right, Marty. Frank, fuck you, and you can get on up out of here, or I can remove you, either one. It don't matter. Because I didn't even start being disrespectful to you till you started me a dumb. And we talk about Mexico.
And Bukele did something that it has been remarkably exposed, that it could clearly, started exposing every dirty politician, incarcerating politicians, that they were corruptibly involved with the gangs. That needs to happen in Mexico. There needs to be consequences for the people that are clearly involved in letting these people operate. That is the next step that it needs to happen. But, this example can clearly happen in our country. After this, I think, Chuck, that the level of expectation now it is going to be on a high scale for Mexicans. If you did this and eliminated El Mencho, we are expecting that the level of violence and the level of cartel will be exactly at a low level in every part of the country. So, Mexicans were really appreciative right now of what the Trump administration has done to pressure our government to do the job.
Facts.
And also, we feel proud at this moment.
Facts, Frank. Facts.
The cojones to go in there and to take out a guy, and we lost some good guys, trying to do that. But, ultimately,
thank y'all
at the
for
end
the
of the day,
light.
this is what happens, Chuck, and you're a war guy. You know what happens when you go and try to take the bad guy out. So, this is basically
war. As we say, war is an ugly thing, but it's not the ugliest of things. Mm-hmm. There are things that are much worse. So sometimes righteous violence is exactly what is needed. People who say violence never solves problems just have not had enough problems. There
Facts.
are times when violence is the only loving answer that you can give to a dilemma like that. Folks, if you want to follow Oscar, you need to go follow Oscar Blue Ramirez. He's one of the best, most intrepid, and most humble journalists that I have met. And I enjoyed traveling with him.
His name is Oscar Ramirez. I love him.
All over Latin America.
I have learned so much from this man.
And the immigration crisis, and that's the thing that we need to keep front and center here, is that every human being has the right to defend themselves from bad people, and the great equalizer is the firearm. So that's something that I hope you will never have to worry about that. But it sounds like if anybody needs a gun for self-protection, it'd be somebody like Oscar Blue Ramirez. Now, let's get over some of our questions. Nathan, you can go ahead and start putting the questions up there. First question is, I have a friend from Puerto Vallarta. How safe are they from where the cartels are now? So, Oscar, what are the chances that these cartels start taking Americans or Canadians as hostages and holding them?
They already have.
They're extremely desperate right now. So I will suggest keep safe. There's already been a communicated statement by the Department of I think I don't know if it was Department of the Treasury of the United States. That
yes, that's him,
about,
Marty.
Not traveling to certain, or the embassy, not traveling to certain cities in Mexico. I would suggest, just for now, do not travel to specific locations right now, because until everything it is completely under control. This week, it is going to be critical. It's going to be extremely critical to see the reaction of the cartel, how they're going to react, if they're going to react aggressively, or they're going to be passive aggressive, or they're going to be completely radical. And as we saw yesterday, they were radical. So not completely radical, but they were radical. So I will suggest not travel right now.
Well, and not only not travel, but if you're already in Mexico, it might be good to hunker down and just sort of wait this out.
And stay home.
As we see, the cartels are ramping up the violence against the National Guard, and so you obviously don't want to get in between any of them at all. Right now, it appears that they're avoiding civilian casualties as much as possible, but that could change. And as a matter of fact, I have this video here of them. This is the cartel detonating an IED against the National Guard. And actually killed some National Guardsmen, I understand. We know that 25 National Guardsmen have lost their lives in various different incidents around the country since this happened. So that kind of violence is, shrapnel doesn't care if you're involved or not. And so you don't want to be anywhere near where stuff like that might be happening. All right. Next question is, will the U.S. need to intervene? What do you think about that, Oscar?
They already are. They already are in. In
certain ways, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I have said this before. The United States of America never has had in history the level of power of extraction of information on dirty politicians like they have now. They have El Chapo Guzman. They have El Mayo Zambada. You recently just, extracted Nicolás Maduro, that is the head of Cartel de los Soles, distributing drugs into Central and South America. Now, you just killed and assassinated El Mencho. That I believe there's a huge conspiracy going on, that they're saying why they killed him and why they did not keep him alive. Possibly this confrontation was still alive in the helicopter, but you never know what kind of information in the helicopter he gave up. And that kind of information, it is confidential, but there has never been no level of extraction. And because this extraction of information, the United States government has the power to tell Mexico, I can easily expose your political party and destroy you right now to the world. So you
damn. Go Trump.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Actually goes into our next question here, which is about, wasn't Sheinbaum originally opposed to cooperation with the Trump administration, and what changed? So it sounds like that may be something that changed.
On the populace, these populist socialists, they're going to say, we don't want the gringo to invade. We're protecting the sovereignty. It's all about the sovereignty of Mexico. But underneath the table, she's basically doing what Trump says and whatever the intelligence says. So she's pandering to her audience just to keep the political party on a rise and don't fall to just one on just one fall. Just keep it on the rise to say, oh, she's protecting the country and her audience and their fanatics and her the people that follow that political party, to keep them, right there, believing still in her.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that's a very, very good answer. That now, let's see here. Somebody else said they have friends going to Rocky Point, Puerto Penasco. The question disappeared, but so I can't put it up on the screen. Puerto Penasco is up in Sonora province. As a matter of fact, I pulled it up on the map to figure out where it was. So let's
really nice, by the way.
Puerto Penasco.
Puerto Penasco.
So here, really Penasco. Here it is. And it's very close to the U.S. border. What would you think if somebody said, we've got reservations at a resort
next to the border of Arizona? It is a place that has high-level cartel activity. It hasn't shown right now no activity whatsoever in Sonora as a rising of burning of vehicles or a rising of some instability of violence. Once again, I tell you, if you had plans for this week, try to hold them off. Just for a security reason. It doesn't even matter if you haven't heard anything in Cancun, in Cabo. This means that airports can be shut down for whatever reason,
Right.
and security reasons can be stationed in airports that you don't even imagine for
Right.
things that it can all of a sudden happen. So I will recommend that.
Okay, good. They're saying that Tusi TV wants to get you on, so that's good. That's a really popular channel, Oscar. Whoever's putting that up there, Gunn, if you have the contact information, send it to info@holtonnews.com, and we'll get it over to Oscar, and we'll try to get him on Tusi TV. That'd be great. Okay, next question. Are there any reports of Americans killed yet? No, I can answer that one. There are no reports of civilian casualties that I know of so far. Have you heard of any, Oscar?
No.
Okay.
No civilians that they haven't.
Next question then is from Bill. What will happen on both sides when Mexico was? What's help our soldiers on the ground? Do you understand what that question means? I don't get it.
What will happen on both sides when Mexico wants to help our soldiers on the ground? I don't understand the question.
I don't understand the question. Let's move on. You're going to have to be a little more clear than that when you ask a question. Are they doing this to show they're still in power, or because of the killing? Well, yeah, that they're showing them. That's what Oscar said. They're still there, and they're not going anywhere. How much of this is funded by Iran? That's a good question. Do you know of Iran having any, tentacles into Mexico? We know that they've moved operatives through Mexico during the Biden administration up into the United States, but those mostly come through Venezuela, don't they?
Mm-hmm. And they had a lot of connection with Nicolas Maduro. And actually, the drones that they were flying on the next day, when Nicolas Maduro was extracted, they were specifically drones that they were flown, and they were made in Iran. So these drones, actually, they have seen these kind of drones, and you know which ones, Chuck. They have seen these kind of drones in the parts of in Mexico. So
that's very concerning, because they could.
Wow, I had no idea.
I really think that the cartels are going to avoid striking inside the U.S. or killing any Americans simply because they don't know what Trump would do. And
that's a fact.
What Trump has done in
that's a fact. They don't know what Trump would do.
Thought that Americans were being targeted in or out of the United States. He's going to come down with a pretty heavy hand. And these guys are businessmen first and foremost. They use violence as a tool in their business. As a marketing tool sometimes, and as a way of gathering market share and that sort of thing.
Chuck, I got to interrupt you there. I have to run. I have a hit right now with the network, so they're calling me right now. So
great.
I'm sorry, Chuck. I'm sorry. I got to apologize.
That's all right. No problem. Hey, thank you, Oscar. Everybody go follow Oscar Blue Ramirez at YouTube, and thank you, Oscar, for coming on.
He is on YouTube and Instagram, Oscar Ramirez. He is awful. He is the one that taught me that when we had the invasion of the illegals, that it was the UN that controlled our borders under the Compact of Global Migration. I did that video about 6 months ago, but you can Google the Global Compact of Migration. It's like 50 pages. I read it on my channel, and it tells you exactly what they were doing during that time. Let me see if I can find something else.
Sometimes we'll find their bodies and they're brutally murdered. I mean, it's
This
kind of
is
what you see on TV, but that's really
Ron
life.
Cladd.
If you think it's not going on in your neighborhood, you are absolutely naive.
The opinions of the guests and host are their own and do not represent.
And it comes up. You have the 5 freeway, you have the 15 freeway coming from San Diego, you have the 10 coming from Arizona, the side roads that come from really Mexicali. So you've got a major influx of roadways coming into the country, and then you have the 2 massive freeways that all start in my county, and then we're only a half hour away from the 5 to go north. So it's the freeway system mostly.
Hold on, let me go past it.
We were being told that they were hands off on anything that had to do with the border. And then we were seeing a shift from the drug cartels that were shifting to human trafficking, and we were seeing more gang members that were coming across the border with drugs, smuggling drugs into the country, and being responsible for the transportation and the distribution of those drugs. And it was the cartels were switching to humans, and so the human trafficking side was much bigger for them. But then when Trump came in, it was almost to the day.
Yes, I'm on Instagram. It's what's my Instagram? My Instagram is Agena, Agena 518. That's my Instagram. Agena 518. Yep.
And it's harder for them for the human trafficking side. So now it's back to drugs, and it's for us. It's I mean, we kind of know where they are. It's hard getting people into them because now when you're dealing with the cartels, people just end up missing or dead.
Right.
So it's not like, street drug enforcement where, somebody's going to get beat up if they think they're, if they're a rat or if they're a narc working for the cops. If it's cartel involved, they just disappear. And sometimes we'll find their bodies.
Yes, we are.
I mean,
I miss Oklahoma. I'm moving to Oklahoma.
And it's
I've been to Oklahoma. I was just there in Christmas. I went to the Spurs game, and I was there last May. But I'm moving to Oklahoma. I have family down there in Spiro, Oklahoma City. But I'm moving to Oklahoma City. I love Oklahoma. I was thinking about Tulsa because I got family in Tulsa. But my great-grandfather and granddaddy, they from Spiro across from Fort Smith. But I'm definitely moving down there. I'm going to try to get my people land back. Oh, you from okay, Mecca. I haven't been there, but I heard of it. Yes. Y'all like, share, subscribe. I'm going to end this video. I'm coming back with another one. And I'm finishing up Detroit Legend because I'm in Detroit. Butch Jones, y'all can hang. I'm doing part 2 because they just had his funeral February 5th, but he was a street legend. I do all kind of content. I don't stick on one. I watch everything. You not in Oklahoma no more? But I'm going to tell you, my cousin down there, and I'm retiring. Do you know it's so inexpensive there. She got a 2-bedroom, 2 full bath ranch. She pays no utilities in a gated community with the storm shelters in the garage. $900 a month. That is so reasonable with full coverage, car insurance, $80. Do you know my pension, I still have a whole lot of money that if I don't want to work, I don't have to. Okay, well, I miss Oklahoma. I hope, maybe one day I could meet you there. Anyway, y'all, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Thank y'all for hitting that like button. I'm coming right back with another video, but it's going to be finishing up my Detroit Street Legend, if y'all interested in that. And then I got to do a celebrity. I'm going to do, I guess, YFN Lucci, because I love rap music. Oh, 3 in Texas. I got family in Texas too. I actually like Fort Worth, Dallas area. I never been to Houston. My sister was in Houston, though. She passed down there. Yeah, but I love Oklahoma City. You wouldn't believe how much it is to do in Oklahoma. I thought it was going to be just like a little country thing. Because when I went to Spyro, they still had horse and buggies. I almost passed out. I'm a city girl. I can't do that much country. And, but Oklahoma City, I absolutely love it. It is so much to do in Oklahoma City. It is so much to do. It really is. All right, y'all. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Thank y'all for those likes. I'll be right back.